Welcome to the Monkey Paw. Support the stories you love. Like this video and subscribe to our channel for more episodes and exclusive content. And for our fans craving something bold, check with your local Mark Pies about their orange chicken availability. Thank you for being part of the Monkey Paw. Stay tuned. The Monkey Paw, Season 1 Finale Part 1, Cheesy Crimes and Schittsburg Dives. The Legion of Dudes Hideout. Inside the icy walk-in cooler of the Legion of Dudes Hideout, Chief Hucklebuck sat trembling, his breath visible in the frozen air. Most grated MC bikers carried boxes labelled Head Cheese vape pens, in and out with the precision of a factory assembly line. The faint crooning of Boys II Men echoed outside, the soulful melodies a cruel juxtaposition to Hucklebuck's predicament. Baby Swiss sat cross-legged on a crate, her platinum blonde hair gleaming under the flickering freezer light. She wore leather pants so tight they seemed to defy physics, and her grin carried the dangerous mix of charm and malice. Hucklebuck stared her down despite his weakening body. "What are you planning to do with this?" he demanded, his voice hoarse. Chief Chocolate Drop wants answers. Baby Swiss purred, standing slowly and leaning over him. "You want to know what we're up to, sugar? Well, maybe you should relax first." She turned to the open doorway. "Hey, boss! Chiefy here's dying to know about our new product." The juggler entered the freezer, spinning a rainbow-coloured bowling pin in one hand and juggling 3 vape pens in the other. His smeared clown makeup and devilish grin made him look like a villain ripped from a fever dream. "Head Cheese," he announced, holding up one of the pens with theatrical flair. "The latest in psychoactive cheese technology. One puff and poof, euphoria. Chaos, addiction." Hucklebuck tugged at his chains, his muscles straining against the cold. "You're going to destroy Brisketown with this garbage. Do you understand what will happen if you flood the streets with cheese drugs?" Baby Swiss climbed into Hucklebuck's lap, her leather-clad hips digging into his thighs. "Oh, I don't know, Chiefy," she giggled. "Sounds like it'd be a lot of fun to me." The juggler twirled a vape pen like a baton. Fun, chaos, profit, it's all the same in the end. He crouched next to Hucklebuck, his face inches away. "People want to escape. We're just giving them the exit." "And when Brisketown's hooked, the real plan begins," Baby Swiss added, her smile widening. Before Hucklebuck could respond, she raised the vape pen and blew a puff of vapor directly into his face. The artificially cheesy mist surrounded him, and his body stiffened as the psychoactive compound kicked in. Visions flooded his mind. Mama Donda's warm smile, his 6 identical children practicing power poses, and fleeting moments with Olavius. Quiet nights on stakeouts, a particularly intense argument that felt more like a lover's quarrel, and an awkward moment where Olavius fell asleep with his head in Hucklebuck's lap. Meanwhile, in the adjoining room, Mad Mike loaded random junk into a beat-up minivan. Wobbly coffee tables, dented metal signs that read "Man Cave Rules," and outdated cameras were all rigged with vape pens and handwritten notes that read, "Make Brisketown great again." Schittsburg, the bleak city. The unit prowled through the decrepit streets of Schittsburg, its headlights slicing through the fog and rain. Barrel fires dotted the sidewalks, casting eerie shadows on the huddled figures surrounding them. Homeless addicts leaned over makeshift cheese-smoking devices, inhaling deeply as molten Velveeta bubbled on cut-up Faygo cans. One man screamed, "The melt is in me!" before collapsing onto the pavement. Another held up a half-burnt Kraft single, whispering, "This is my truth." Olavius wrinkled his nose. "This place is worse than I imagined." "Worse? This is a dumpster fire with a side of government cheese." Ruler muttered, puffing on his cigarette. He flicked the ashes onto the dashboard, earning a glare from Olavius. Suddenly, Ruler's glowing blue eyes flickered. His malfunctioning processors, starved for tips, glitched briefly, and he saw a ghostly baby standing in the middle of the road. Its tiny spectral hands reached out to him. Ruler blinked hard, the image disappearing. "Keep driving," he said curtly, unwilling to explain. The cockroach on Olavius's shoulder clicked insistently, directing them to a dingy neon sign ahead, the break room. The break room. The break room was a dive bar that reeked of spilled beer and bad decisions. Sticky floors, Nicotine-stained walls and dim lighting made it a haven for Schittsburg's worst. Criminals of all types filled the room, their conversations a mix of hushed scheming and raucous laughter. Behind the bar stood Bigmore, a woman who could make a sailor blush with her profanity-laden tirades. At nearly 6 feet tall and built like a linebacker, she was an intimidating presence. Her tattoos depicting flaming skulls and obscene hand gestures only added to her aura. "What the do you want?" she barked as the trio approached the bar. Olavius hesitated. A pint of bath-time brew." Bigmore slammed a cloudy pint onto the counter, the liquid sloshing dangerously. "Here's your beer, drink it and blip." Ruler swaggered up next. "I'll take a Red Bull and vodka." Bigmore squinted at him. "Red Bull and vodka? What are you, a sorority girl?" "Fine." She poured the drink with exaggerated annoyance, sliding it across the counter. Ruler took a sip, his glowing eyes brightening slightly. "Not bad. Not bad at all." Nearby, Peg-Leg Punk sat at the bar, his scrawny frame hunched over a napkin. His signature Winnie-the-Pooh knit hat perched jauntily on his head, its button eyes giving him an unsettlingly innocent appearance. His crime had made him infamous, hacking Briskertown cable to force every channel to play Fall For You by Secondhand Serenade for 72 hours. The emo anthem had driven dozens to madness and caused a national shortage of black nail polish and hair dye. Leaning against the dartboard was the Black Bear. At 250 pounds of solid muscle, his calves alone looked like they could crush watermelons. He wore basketball shorts that showed off those calves in all their glory, and Olavis found his gaze lingering a moment too long. His cheeks flushed as he quickly turned away, trying to focus. "We're here for Dr. Watkins," Olavis said, clearing his throat. Bigmore snorted. "F***ing nutjob. He's in the back, sleeping on my f***ing table. Keeps the urinals iced down for me." Before Olavis could respond, the Black Bear stepped forward. His massive hand clamped down on Olavius's shoulder, and the detective's knees nearly buckled. "I'll take you to him," the Black Bear said, his deep voice sending a shiver down Olavius's spine. The Black Bear led the trio through the crowded bar with ease, his presence parting the sea of shady patrons. Olavius couldn't help but notice the way the man's calves flexed with each step. He bit his lip and forced himself to focus on the task at hand. At the back of the bar, the Black Bear opened a door, revealing Dr. Watkins hunched over a table cluttered with circuitry. A cigarette dangled from his lips, and a can of Mountain Dew sat precariously close to the edge of the table. From the karaoke machine in the bar, Peg-Leg Punk's off-key rendition of Fall For You filled the air. To be continued.